This is the most decisive shutout victory in franchise history. Just understanding it's only one game, but just the statement that you guys made today and what it showed about this team.
I mean, really, the focus was to get off, the season, take the first step. We accomplished that tonight. I think just like anything, it was our first live game together. So, then you had the weather factor in. So, a lot of good things tonight to build off of but I mean, it is one win. It's your first division win, your first road win, and all those are important because it's important to get that first one under your belt. But just the way we played, and it's nice when you see the players, emphasize and you see it exercised in practice and carried over to the field. I thought the defense and the block field goal got it started, and and it really never stopped. Defense was relentless all night. The takeaways and just what a great job with the return game and the offense for taking care of the football. I mean that was there were some tough conditions. You can see both sides handling snaps, handling punts. Exchanges were a challenge all night, and I thought the offense did an excellent job in that area too. So, the big play production was probably as high as I can recall. And that's how you get to these type of games. But it's one win. It's a really good start for us.
Your first opening win as the Cowboys coach. Can you talk about that and just the completeness of what you did?
Zach Martin just told me that. Walking in there, the PR department forgot to tell me that I hadn't won a game yet, so I would have been more motivated coming in there. But yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I mean, I never focused on that. I mean, it's important to get that first win, so it was good to get, I guess, my first opening win.
Mike Jordy, up sign with Yahoo Sports. Even if you aren't focused on it for you, returning to play calling, how did it feel? And I guess what was that experience like?
I mean, it was good. I think like anything, because of the weather, you had to adjust. And I thought the offensive staff and the communication of players was excellent tonight. I mean, there's always going to be things that, I'm going to want to do better, and that's it's no different tonight. So, we had a couple things, but I thought it was a relatively clean game. I thought. I don't ever want to say conservative. I think you have to be smart in spots there. And I thought Dak did an excellent job commanding that and being smart in the decision making, particularly because you can see the way the game started there early, after their first drive. The ball, protecting the football was going to be a big challenge tonight. And I thought Dak and the offense did a really nice job of that.
Mike, Todd Archer with ESPN. Your pass rush took the sacks tonight. Yeah. Was it something about the matchups that you guys took advantage of, or was it just kind of a continuation of what you saw this summer in training camp?
Well, I mean, that's who we are. I clearly feel, we've taken another step. You could see that in training camp. But I would say, you look at the way teams are going to try to play us. You look at their first series. I mean, they're going to try to pound the ball and challenge our run defense, over and over again, try to, soften up the pass rush. But, yeah, the pass rush was relentless tonight. We gave up contain a couple times early, but, after that, I clearly was in total control of the game.
John Michaud, The Athletic. Can you talk a little bit about some of the maybe lesser-known guys stepping up, like Wanye? And
absolutely. Loved it. It said it in the middle of the first quarter. We had a number of young guys play big. Noah, I mean, had the big play. But, yeah, Marquise, I thought had some really nice plays, but and I think we talked about this about a week ago. I'm just really thrilled to see our young guys. They're ready, and you can see it here just in our first game. So I thought we had a lot of production from our young players.
Mike, coming off back-to-back 12-5 seasons, and then you added Cooks and Gilmore, and both of them gave you a little something tonight. Just talk about what they did tonight and adding those to what you've had in place here.
I mean, they're excellent football players. I mean, that's stating the obvious, but they're really good fits for us. They really fit very well with how we want to play. And then I think they're extraordinary both in the way they've come in and connected with the locker room. Because, to me, the physical talent, the football IQ, all those things are really, really important, and you can measure those. But the emotional connection and the culture is something that needs to be organic. And those guys have really fit in, because I didn't know them personally. I didn't have a relationship with them. So when you bring in veterans, it's you don't know how that's always going to go. So I think those guys have done an incredible job coming in here. You would not think that they were new, just on how they interact and how they've connected.
And both tonight, just Gilmore with the interception
Yep.
and also what he did in coverage. And Cooks, you went to him on some big third
It
downs.
looked like Stephon looked like we were practice every day. I mean, it's he's an incredible route reader. Just the pattern concepts and understanding of the stems and the way he sees the game is exceptional. I look back at Charles Woodson and some of those guys that had had that special trait, and he definitely has that. And Brandon is, I mean, he is a fast receiver that plays super fast all the time and plays with really good route running technique and so forth. So they're both had nice start off nights. We didn't do much in the passing game. It was more just being cautious and so forth. But when Brandon obviously had the nice opportunity there on the poker, it was flawless.
Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. The defense was obviously huge in getting out to that big lead to start. How did that allow you guys to do things offensively? I guess did anything change once that big lead happened?
Well, the only thing that changed for us offensively was the weather plan. So we went to a weather plan, and just really after, pregame was actually pretty nice. And I was hoping we were all hoping to stay that way, but that wasn't the case. And the other thing too, the field was getting soft too. There's other things that you consider. So because at the end of the day, the team that protected the ball was going to win the game. That's how I felt. Once the rain really came, and then we had a couple spots here where it was pretty continuous. So yeah, the biggest change was just going to the rain plan.
How often are you guys allowed to talk about the weather plan? I guess in the preseason and then this week leading up as well.
What do you mean?
Like how often did you guys talk about a weather plan?
We just, conceptually, you really always got to, build that in because, weather can change, as we know. So, but we did the wet ball drills, I think 3 times this week. So we had the buckets out, pre and post practice, and then hit it again, before we left Saturday. So we were ready for it, just from a prep standpoint. But it's a challenge, and frankly, I'm excited to get a game like that under your belt because you need those games. So especially when you're an indoor team, we play indoors, and when you have a chance to go out and play in bad weather like that, I always thought it was a bonus. Obviously spend a lot of time in a bad weather place. So it's important because you're going to get bad weather in the winter months.
Hey, Coach. Matt Boucher, NBCU Academy. Brandon Aubrey's first game today. What are your first impressions of him?
Very good. I thought it was excellent on the kickoffs. I think just the first one he just rushed it. He was set up before the field goal protection or the extra point protection was set up. So, but other than that, I thought he had a nice night.
Joey. Joe Hoyt, Lone Star Live. No Tyler Smith tonight. Obviously, Chuma has to step in. What do you think of how Chuma performed?
I thought he played well. Just from our perspective, when we come to the sideline and you're making corrections, I don't know if his name was mentioned. So I thought he had a nice night.
Turpin, you just talk about the use of him as a running back, certainly short yardage on goal line, 155 pounds. Just talk about it.
Well, you had to criticize something. I wasn't going to get out of here with free. I know that. Yeah, not bad. No, I promise you we have some passes out of those personnels. So, but yeah, it's a conscious effort just try to get him the football, and we definitely want to get Deuce involved too. So it's a long year, and I'm very cognizant of that. Always have been. We had normally. It's been my history. You always carry more offense into the first game. You're coming out of training camp. You're fresh out of your installs. So because you do want to have the ability to get everybody involved. It's important. It's the 17th game is real. So I think it's important also to get young players involved, and I consider Turp a young player. So.
Pollard's first game is.
Was I too long? Was I getting too long for you?
No. I'm sorry.
Why'd you cut me off? I'm just. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Pollard's first game.
Pollard? Yeah, Tony. It's just obviously come back from the injury. You could really feel Tony the last couple of weeks, like in the 9-on-7s and the team runs. So you knew he was back. Yeah, but I thought he did some really good things.
Tom Marion with AP Radio. How important was it to get off to such a quick start, especially this being the first game of the year?
Great point. Very important. I think that's how these games go. It's especially early in the year. There is a newness to it. Momentum is important, but it really got us opportunity to get on a roll. You know, the big play production was, I think we were plus 13 at halftime, and I didn't see where we ended up, but you know, you have to make big plays to win in the NFL. I mean, it shows up in every game. So, but yes, it obviously always factors.
Stop where we started.
Just so early, but where have you seen this team, this group overall evolve the most over the last 2 to 3 years?
I mean, it's one game. We're excited. We feel good. We feel good about what we played tonight. I think we're still evolving. You know, we know where we want to go. I feel like we are fully capable and have an understanding how to get there. But it's a long journey. So we took the first step the right way. We played to our identity. We took the ball away. We took care of it. We ran it when they knew we were going to run it. So we knew they were going to try to run it at us. So you know, and that's the way these games are going to go. You know, when we line up each week. So I thought we got off to a good start.
All right.
Thank you.